All right, and welcome to Bulls Digest. We are doing a live pregame show for the Chicago Bulls versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Wanted to go over the injury report along with some of the things to watch for in tonight's game. And so let's go ahead and start with the injury report around both teams. And so mainly with our injury report, we are seeing that it is pretty much a clean report for the most part here. So go ahead and jump into it. So this is on ESPN.com. This is since really been updated. And so again, if you go to ESPN.com, this is what this is going to show you. But the key injury update is that we have perhaps a timeline for a return for Patrick Williams. It looks like that he is probably targeting the game against the Charlotte Hornets. The Bulls are going to have some practice time here, so that is going to give him some time to go ahead and ramp up, probably do some 5-on-5s, and hopefully be able to get back out there for the Chicago Bulls against the Charlotte Hornets. He is from Charlotte, and so it would be almost like a homecoming game for Patrick Williams, and so that is the update there. You see that Lonzo Ball is probable, I think, going into this game right now. He is not on the injury report. You see that Kobe White is day-to-day. He had been dealing with the ankle injury. It looks like that he is going to be good to go. Vooch did pop up on the injury report. Looks like he was dealing with some tightness, a little soreness in the back. Don't think that that is going to be an issue. That might be something to maybe monitor tonight. That could be something that Billy Donovan might have to go to his rotation a little bit more tonight, depending on what is going on with some of these players that have been dealing with some injuries. But no Josh Giddey on the injury report. That is a good sign. And so for the most part, the Chicago Bulls have a clean injury report. Now, as we shift focus and we look at the Philadelphia 76ers, their season has really, I think, been defined, by injuries and things like that, especially with Embiid, their big man here. And so as of the time of the recording here, what I am seeing about Embiid is that, he is maybe questionable for tonight, and it is going to perhaps be a heavy minutes restriction if he does play in tonight's game. And so, that is something to really monitor. This is per Julia Poe of the Chicago Tribune, who reports that this is probably the likelihood of what Embiid's night is going to look like if he plays. And so that is really the big injury for the Philadelphia 76ers. Couldn't get that out. But look, Paul George is not listed on there. And then also, too, they do have Tyrese Maxey. So there is a very real possibility that the Chicago Bulls are going to be going against, a Philadelphia 76ers team that is full strength. And so with that being said, let's go ahead and look into just the team comparisons for both teams, because I think that even though the Sixers have really struggled this season, make no mistake about it, if they do have all their players out there, this is going to be a tough game for the Chicago Bulls. And so, I think that with this team, you see that their defensive rating is still pretty solid out there, even though that they've struggled across the board in other departments. And I know a lot of teams may look at that 5-15 record, but it is early for the Philadelphia 76ers, and there's still time for them to really catch up, especially in the Eastern Conference, depending on what is going to happen to their big three. I think that Tyrese Maxey, he's been trending pretty well, but he has struggled a little bit with some injuries earlier in the season. And now he's starting to kind of catch his wind and kind of move forward. So that is something to really look forward in tonight's game. And then with the Chicago Bulls, I think that the biggest thing to look for on our team is just going to be, can we get some defensive stops? I think that is just really the bottom line for this team. This team has done a great job as far as going out there and scoring. I think that they've gotten better and gotten more comfortable with this system. They understand, how to get these three-point shots up. I think that at times they're understanding what to do as far as attacking the paint. I think that, they've got to maybe take it to another level and understanding that there's more opportunities to be had when it comes to, really attacking the rim. So hopefully we get a chance to see some more of that tonight. But the big key takeaway for this team is just got to be defensively. And it comes down to, I know you don't have the personnel, but you've still got to come with the effort. And if you come with the effort and the attention to detail, which is something that this team does lack and missing assignments, then they can pretty much be in just about any game out there with that. But this is something that has just been really not there for this team. And so they have got to find some consistency, and they've got to have that same energy that they put into the offensive end onto the defensive end. And so as we shift focus now and we look at the starting lineups and the projected starting lineups for both teams, and this is subject to change, but I think that I'm looking forward to seeing a bit more of Tyrese Maxey. I think that he really came on last year, and I'm looking to see him probably take another step this year, because with Paul George and his injury history, and then also too with Embiid, it might come down to Tyrese Maxey. And so it's always good to see Tyrese Maxey and how he's evolved really since he's really taken off from Kentucky. So it's always a treat to watch him. And then I'm also looking for Jared McCain. I think that this is a player that has been impressive. Right now, currently, he leads all rookies in scoring at 16.5 points a game, 46.8% from the field, and 38.3% from three. And so I'm just looking to see him operate a little bit more as a scorer, to see how he's really evolved from Duke, because we knew that he could flat out shoot the basketball, but it's just how he's scoring the basketball. And this is huge, for a rookie to come out here and be impactful like this. Has a ton of confidence. He's also averaging 2.7 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and he's also had two 30-point games out there as well. And so that is going to be huge to look forward to tonight in this game. And so next up with Embiid, I talked about him, and I talked about the fact that he is probably going to be on a little bit or a hefty minutes restriction, as it was quoted there. And so with him, he's still averaging 19.8 points a game and 7.5 rebounds a game, and he's shooting 37.9% from the field. And so, he's really struggling as far as shooting the ball from deep. And I had to look at this a couple times, but 16.7%. And with Embiid, I think that you're going to see a player that you can just tell he is just not in conditioning. And so will he get to that? Hopefully he doesn't get to that tonight against the Chicago Bulls, but it could be an issue, for a team that doesn't have a lot of length like the Chicago Bulls. And so next up with the Chicago Bulls, I think really the key takeaway tonight is just going to be, for me, it's going to be the youth. I think that I want to see some more of our bench tonight. I want to see some more of Modest Buzelis. I wonder if he's going to play with the mask. And so, I think that is really what it is going to be about, especially as this team might be, trading a lot of players we don't know. I mean, there's the speculations, rumors out there, but I want to see, Billy Donovan kind of get into his coaching bag a little bit and get into these rotations and get some of these younger players out there, because, ultimately speaking, you're going to be depending on these players. This is an evaluation period. I know that you want to be competitive, but the only way you see what you have is you've got to play some of these players out there. So want to see some Modest tonight. I definitely want to see some Julian Phillips and Dalen Terry, especially out there. I know that they didn't have necessarily the game that they probably wanted to in this last game, but we know that they bring a ton of energy. We know that defensively they're locked in, and then also too, we're seeing improvements in their offensive game. And so, the only way to get them out there and to continue to develop them, you got to play them. And then with THT, look, THT has been on a tear. If you need a bucket, you know that you just go ahead and put THT in the game. As far as our starters are concerned, Zach and Vooch continue to play at an all-star level. Have loved the way that Zach has done it, playing off of others. I think that, he just continues to take a step forward this season, and it's good to see him do that. Vooch with this back soreness and tightness, he's been really a great source of offense for us. He's been really our paint presence down there, and a lot of things start with him down there on the paint, and so hopefully he can get back to that. I think this last game against the Pacers, their length really, kind of bothered him, and that's why I say that even Joel Embiid, if he's injured, I think he still would kind of bother maybe Embiid out there. And so hopefully we see Vooch, we're able to work off of that. And then with Dosunmu, look, he continues to build, I think, off of performances. He's doing great. I talked about this in the last video that, perhaps if we are looking to still get some wins and prioritize the youth movement at the same time, you might want to put Ayo out there, because I think he's a building block piece for you. If you're not going to trade him, you need to have him out there playing with some of your pieces that you're looking to build with. And to be honest with you, he might be our best defensive player at this point in time. I think maybe he's past Patrick Williams, because Patrick Williams has been out at this point. And so I think that you have to ask yourself, Ayo has been pretty consistent. And so, he brings that defensive punch tonight. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this current game coming up for the Chicago Chicago Bulls? Do you think that this is a game that we can perhaps steal, from the Philadelphia 76ers? I think that this is a team that, the Chicago Bulls can certainly beat. I think it's a team that we need to beat. And this is the type of, win that you can get tonight that really kind of builds your momentum, I think, throughout the season. And so hopefully the Bulls can take care of business, because we do have a little bit of a break before we take on, I believe, the Charlotte Hornets. And so it'd be nice to get this win going into this game. And so just checking the chat before I get out of here, and nothing in there. And so we're getting ready to head out of here. Make sure you enjoy the game. I'll see you on the post game. And I just want to thank everybody out there for liking, subscribing, and sharing to the content. It means a lot to us here at Bulls Digest as we try to reach our humble goal of just 5,000 subscribers by the end of the NBA season out there. Wanted to let you know that about 69.4% of you that watch are not subscribed to the video or to the channel. So make sure that you go ahead and mash that subscribe button for us. And look, even though the Chicago Bulls are caught in between, this place where it's either development and winning games, and, we're trying to figure out this direction. Hopefully we are starting to figure it out as we move forward this season. And as usual, I'm always saying, go Bulls, and I'll see you on the next one. All right.